Hi, welcome to video 6. My name is Nicola Malarkey, and in this video I'm going to go through how to put together your career summary for your CV. The first thing to remember is people who are reading your CV are interested in what you're doing now. Okay, so your career history should be in reverse chronological order. So therefore that means your most recent job put on your CV first. The things to include are the dates. The dates are really important. So if you started a position on the 2nd of February in 2006, just put February 2006 to present. We don't need the exact date. You can fill that in at a later stage if the employer actually asks. Just covering the months that you worked somewhere is perfect. And then make sure you're consistent. So going back for previous roles, make sure you're consistent, showing the date, the months and year that you worked in those places. Another thing with your career history, if you took time out, whatever it is, whether it's going back to university or something like that, and you've got a 3-year gap in your career history, don't assume that the person who's reading your CV is going to look under education to see, did that person go back to university? They're just going to glance to see a 3-year gap, and they might think the worst. They might think, this person went to prison. We don't know, yeah? So cover it. Put in your CV that I went back to university between 2000 and 2003. Okay, so when you're writing your career history, make sure what you're writing is positive. Okay, that really tells the person reading your CV about you. Something that's really beneficial is actually to write a little bit about the company that you work with. So if you're working within a particular industry and you're looking to stay within that industry, you might be really working for a small organisation, and so the person reviewing your CV may not actually know or heard of this company, but there might be the perfect company for them. But because they've not heard of them, they might disregard your CV. So put a sentence or 2 sentences about what the company actually does. Yeah, that will really benefit you. In your CV, be concise. So when you're writing about what you've been doing, be concise. Don't waffle. Yeah, because you'll bore the reader. They're not interested in the waffle. They want to know what you've done, what are your achievements, what were you responsible for. You know, how many people did you manage in your team? Were you looking after different sites throughout the UK? Was it global? You know, all that sort of information. Bullet points are really beneficial. I find that they're really beneficial in a career history. If not bullet points, short paragraphs. Split it out. Once again, that comes back to the presentation. How does it come across to the reader? With bullet points, I have mentioned it before. If you're writing a bullet point, either put a full stop at the end or don't put a full stop at the end. Just make sure they're consistent. Don't put full stops on half of them and not on the other half, okay? Skills. If you're in a technical role, skills are really beneficial to show in your career history what you've been doing. So it's actually quite useful at the end of your explanation of your role and what you've been doing to actually write a couple of lines of the key technologies, key skills that you've been working with. This basically draws to the person reading your CV the key, your expertise, where your expertise lies, and are they what they're looking for. Okay, so with respect to career history, how far back should it go? It really does depend, yeah? If you've got 20 jobs in the last 10 years, that might take up more than 4 or 5 pages that I mentioned, so it might not be worth writing about all of them. So I'll probably say the last 4 or 5 roles, maybe more, are definitely worth writing about in detail. Do cover and show a career history, so show every single job that you worked in, because that's really beneficial. If you've been temping for a year or 2 years, just say temping from this date to this date, rather than putting every 2-week temp role in there, because that would be a bit too much for somebody to read. I think that just about covers it for your career history. Join me in video 6, where I'm going to go over your skill summary. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye bye.